on?
Thank goodness it's Friday yet again. From my understanding, all of us have had long weeks.
Bro.
Very.
The longest.
Holidays, installs, work. I feel like it's the same with you guys too.
Like, yeah, it's been running nonstop the whole entire week. But like, thank goodness it's Friday. Rolling Thunder episode 42. We're gonna talk about like the car audio season kicking off for 2022. Man, I think it's gonna be sick.
Absolutely, and I'm excited for it. But you know, with the car shows, you got to have your car ready, and mine is not. I know you guys
Mine's
are
not
up
either.
and running.
Same.
I'm down.
Oh no.
We're both down.
What happened?
Oh wow! So it's like breaking news, everyone. All of our shit is torn apart right now. like right in time for the show season to start. We all have. You're doing a rebuild on yours, and if they haven't seen it, check out your channel for sure. I watched the last video. I like your amp rack. I think it's cool. I saw the Cookie Monster photo of like that. Both the amps mounted upside down look tight.
Thanks,
Casey, I'll let you talk about yours. You're doing like a full rebuild on yours. What's going on with that?
Yeah, taking the parts out. We're doing custom ZV6s, and I'm gonna do some like cool stuff in the back wall because I like the amps I have, but they're also getting warranty right now. So not sure when I'm getting those back. But I also have a Prodigy bank on the way, so I'm gonna do something cool with the back wall and actually take my time on it. So it looks good because I think I'm going to keep these amps for a while. I'll probably keep these subs for the season at least, and then just cleaning some other stuff up. Putting an 80 PRS in. I got like LED rings. I got a lot of stuff to do. I have so much to do.
That's how I feel, man. Treading water right now. That's it.
Yeah.
Getting there.
That's the same thing with mine. The last show we went to, like I played like 20 to 29 hertz, like the entire show, and I knew when I put the lower metal braces in the box that I should have been using something heavier duty than SPAC screws. Sure enough, I didn't break the screws on one of the lower chamber braces, and like halfway through the show, I had Baffle flex on one side of the box, and I broke a couple sub screws and stuff like that, but I didn't give a dang. I was like, oh, I'm going to cut it off for the day. People kept asking for demos, so I was like, I'm sending it, bro, and I just kept giving it the beans, bro. Those people were like, "Oh, aren't you afraid of breaking something?" I'm like, "No, I think I got a pretty good warranty department."
It got windier too. As the sub was Dude, Spax is not what they used to be. Spax used to be the only screw to use. Now Spax is wax. You got to use the GRK boys now. The structural screws. It sucks, man. I don't know what changed, but I remember I've never seen a Spax screw break like they do now, and they're like easier to. I don't know.
Is that anything you have a problem with, Andy, in yours? Do you get any kind of flex breaking screw heads off and stuff like that, or no?
Not too much with the braking. I think this time around I'm just making it stronger. Whenever we built a floor, we kind of just threw, some L brackets with piece of wood and screwing everything down with some self-tappers and stuff. And I was just looking at it, I'm like, man, this is not strong enough. We need another L bracket on each side so the things ain't moving and bolting the box down. And honestly, nothing broke in that aspect. I had problems with just the enclosure, just from trial and error. And honestly, we made a mistake in the beginning. We got so excited, we got everything put together, we forgot to brace it from top to bottom. Like literally, there was just a port in there, no baffle or double baffle, but no brace. And that's the whole thing. It's like people are like, you need a double baffle. Yes and no. You need to have your bracing too. The bracing is the crucial part of, just the enclosure and its integrity. So when we put it in there, I just started, no, you're good. I just started ripping screws apart, like you guys said. But that's because there was no bracing. So we had to take the whole thing apart, put some bracing in there, kind of tack it in there. And I ran it like that for, as long as you guys knew. But as time went on, no matter how many screws I put in there, it was not strong enough. So that's why we did the whole new re-baffled, and we got 4x4s as dowel rods now instead of 1.5-inch dowel rods, and that should do it. And a lot of stuff inside just to make everything stronger. Before it was like, man, this thing is wimpy. Now it's like this box is not gonna fall apart. That was my problem, the enclosure. I don't have a wall like you guys, but I did make my floor a lot stronger.
I mean, you might as well have a wall though. That thing's pretty big.
Yeah, it just there's no front port. That's all. It's just the car.
Yeah.
That's the thing with mine too. So like, we added another layer, a top baffle layer and a top and all that stuff in my box when I did it, and we put the metal brace in the bottom. And I should have done something more heavy duty, but I think all reality as a safe thing. So when I put these back in, I'm going to do heavy, coarse thread, big bolts in it, A, with washers. B, I'm going to PL the braces to the floor and to the top baffle too. Because again, like if you can keep that brace from moving, you're you're not gonna shear a bolt head off. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like,
right.
I'm gonna do
Think
that
smarter,
too.
not harder. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I really need to come up with some kind of vertical brace inside the box. You know, from the top of the baffle to the roof. I'm just gonna have to do it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it.
Might as well
Hit up
just go
Scott
with
Bowman.
cement next time. Just cement the whole car. You know,
Yeah.
nothing's gonna move.
Get one of those Scott Bowman backlit LED stripper poles.
I'm excited
Yeah.
for the trooper swap. I'm excited for the video you were telling me about.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, dude. Hi-Fi's been all this time. Which the funny thing is too, because it's all I do too is just drive around and listen to podcasts. But he's about to have me back in the base game, and I'm excited to see it. And you know, knowing with him, that it might be like a combination of new and old school. You never know, dude.
Right.
Nice.
It's gonna sound good, but it's not gonna be doing no hair tricks or nothing. But it's gonna sound good and be loud. Vega definitely needs to do that. I'm excited too.
Yeah. I mean.
I'm
If
expecting
you can
it
probably
now.
do some hair tricks. If you get, you know, one window cracked and he's got that, his fluff on the top up there.
Oh yeah, that'll be going. That'll be going.
Yeah, exactly. You can make it flop around. Get your little napkin up there or something, you know, it'll make it flop around. Yeah,
Yeah, some cellophane.
dude, it'll be tight.
Yeah. Sometimes that's all
He's
you
gonna
need.
be having a whole beach towel up there. He's gonna be like, "Psych, boys, secret build." That's why he's growing his hair back out. Yeah.
Oh, you might have a point there. You might have a point.
Yeah. By the time it's long enough, he might be done with his SPL build.
Touche. See, now I know they can, now that I know, High Five Vega proved himself. He proved himself that everyone thought he was bald. He's not bald. But let me see you grow a beard, bro.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. So we'll see.
I don't know if I could see Vega with like a chin strap or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, what it looks
Just the
like.
Fred Durst fucking soul patch, dude. Yes.
Oh, dude.
Don't get me started on Limp Bizkit. We love Limp Bizkit over
I
here.
love
Okay?
Limp Bizkit, dude. I love
Yes.
Limp Bizkit.
Oh yeah.
I could see freaking Big D with a beard. He'd look like a fucking wizard or something like that. Yeah, dude. He looked like he'd be like a Harry Potter cosplayer for fucking what's his face. I forget the name of the character, but it doesn't matter.
I know who you're talking about.
Hagrid.
Hagrid. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
You know what's funny? Side jag. I actually finished that Harry Potter series. What, all 7 or 8 movies of them just last year. I never watched them all, and it's like, oh, it was free on on demand or something. I was like, might as well. We binged that for
Not
like 3 days.
damn.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yo.
Dude, I remember being a kid and full of wonderment and all that stuff. But I think it's kind of funny though. Yeah, all of our stuff's all yanked apart right now, so all of our builds are in rebuild mode. But I think they can be better than ever, man. Casey's going to like a more efficient thing. You're going to be louder and more efficient, and obviously serviceable now. So that'd be nice.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going higher voltage and everything, man. So 5K a piece of these things. We'll see.
5K. What are you running? Sundown. What?
Some custom ZV6s.
Well, I know that amplifier wise.
Oh, the two HKO 10K, the DS18.
Those ones. Okay.
I was clamping
okay.
right at
Double
9K
checking.
at like 2.5 ohms or so. It was like 2.2 to 2.3 ohms, something like that.
Well,
It was clamping like right at
you're
9K.
getting- Right.
That's
And
at
those
like
are 1 ohm
13 volts
stable,
though. 'cause
technically. So
yeah,
that's all
they're
you could
half
ask
ohms. But they're dropping down to like 13 volts. So I figured, better electrical if I can hold in the 15s at least.
That's my biggest thing now is I have to do a
Solid.
battery bank. I got to do a battery bank bad. I haven't had bass in like 2 weeks now. I sold the battery of the show. The audio cutting out bad? Is the audio cutting out for more than just Dan, or is it everyone? I don't know. But because it's usually the StreamYard does the host. It's not one of us. But hell yeah. No, I'm excited though. The biggest thing on mine on this is we got the DBZ coming. He's got my alternator buttoning up, and so I'll get the at least one 400 amp on it before we do the big triple all set up. Yeah.
Nice.
And I just want to keep the voltage more constant, man. Like taking in the the LTO bank, I pretty much beat it to death, going emptying it out of its, completely depleting it at every show, until it was at 12 volts or showing low. I just want to stay at above 12 volts, man. Like I don't care to be at 15, but if I keep it above 12 volts solid, I'll be happy for a long time.
Right.
Because is it way louder at 15 volts? Yes, but if I can't keep it at 15 volts, then I'm
more efficient too, though.
Yeah.
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 My whole goal, and with the
you wanna
EX5,
have that
I
good
held that
voltage.
voltage.
You do.
Yeah, it does make a difference.
The EH5 was a big difference, man. I like the EH5
Yeah.
battery. Just the 40 amp hour wasn't enough, and I didn't want to justify the cost on expanding a DIY battery.
I feel
Yeah.
like that 400 amp alternator is going to do you more good than any kind of battery, unless you run a higher voltage cell battery to keep your voltage where you want it. Honestly, you need that input.
We'll
That's
have
why
that
I'm doing CMAX.
Yeah, I'm gonna take in. I'm gonna add. We have that pallet of those UltraCat banks coming in. Should be here on Monday. And dude, I'm putting an UltraCat battery in place of my battery delete box up front, dude. Just
Nice.
because it's a performance boost for any system. I don't care what anybody says. It's you're still adding that in the system. B, I got a jump box all the time, forever. So it's like 15-year lifespan. If my car ever dies or somebody else's shit ever dies, whatever, worst case, I got a jump starter with me all the time.
Unless it's dead.
It's not going to be dead. It's got a 15-year lifespan on the capacitors in it.
Oh yeah, because those are the what company actually makes those? There's a
The
separate.
iAxis, yes, the iAxis ones.
Yes.
The,
Well,
you
what's your
Bluetooth your
opinion on
phone.
this? I loved Exo's review about it.
Dude, I think
about
they're
a
sick.
year ago or
Again, it can sustain like with a stock underhood under the car, you know, and like obviously the good scenario, it can sustain up to like 2,500 watts with an AGM or a underhood battery and that under it. Obviously, you saw in the video. And then
Right.
B, it's a performance gain to any stereo. So it's like if you got a battery delete box and you're not charging at 16 volts, well, like why not? You know, it's like especially
Right.
when you get the B stock ones, they're like 200 something bucks, $200. You know, it's like why not? Just for the, you know how many times I've actually, I mean, ask Casey, it happens few and far between, but there's every once in a blue moon where I'll leave my lights on or some dumb shit, and then
It's like
we go
once
out-
a month at least.
yeah, and I go out there and my shit's that fucking 6.6 volts, and I'm going, fuck, you know, and then you
1
crank
volt
it.
per cell. You're good still. You're
Oh,
okay.
yeah, you go out there and I put the not lithium charger on it until it gets to 12, and you crank it, and the alternator's like, wow, just fucking immediately.
The charger's still in the driveway. That's how recent it's happened.
You
I
should
remember-
yeah.
I remember whenever I used to go to car shows, and I would turn my car off because I have a loud exhaust, and who wants to burn gas even back then? And I would have like always 2 batteries, but I could play my music for hours, because deep cycle. And I just remember one time I went to turn the car over, and it started. It kind of hesitated, but it still started. And that alternator just sounded like it was dying trying to charge those batteries back up. I'm like,
oh, bro. Yeah, mine with that rebuilt branded XMen on it, dude. I mean, it does great. I don't have noise really hardly ever, but you give it to the end of the show where I have a super depleted battery, and then it's whining, bro. Like, you got a freaking, it's a whistle through the stereo like nobody's business. But the
you just got to take some deodorant to the belt. It'll be all right. It'll stop squeaking.
oh no, the belt doesn't ever slip or
Yeah.
squeak. I'm talking about the noise. I get noise off of it.
Right, just like the internals just screaming.
Yeah.
I can't. That'll be awesome though with that 400 amp alternator. Now, what color are you going to paint it? Natural?
Red,
What
white,
do
and
you-
blue. Red, white, and blue.
Ooh, America.
It's got like
Like
stripes on it. Yeah, so I'm gonna do. So that's the first one that's going on. We're gonna do a triple alt setup with 3 red, white, and blue setups. And I swear to Christ, if anybody jacks my idea right now, I'm gonna straight up see what you show and just unmercifully your gonads, bro. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not
no.
that patriotic. I would. That's awesome.
I'm talking smack now. So we have we're gonna drop off the alternator bracket at my buddy's CNC and lathe shop. He's got a laser engraver. We're gonna put like Muraco with like lightning bolts and shit on it on the alternator bracket. Because
Nice.
you got some surface area, it's just metal, so it's like why not put something cool on it too?
Right. That'd be awesome, man. I know my Ohio gen's still running great. I just really haven't, put it through the ringer like maybe you guys. But at the same time, man, that's all I really need for my kind of setup, and then even then some. But honestly, with that car, I don't see me putting 2 alternators in there anyway. And I love Cookie Monster for what it is. I'd rather use a bigger vehicle that has a lot of space for alternators and more space for some subwoofies. So get a little louder that way.
Well, I finally made it to, like I don't have the GM support like Casey does down here, but I finally made it to the point where it's like one alternator is pushing it, okay? So, I mean, like, can you enjoy it? Yes. You have to be mindful of things? Yes. So, I mean, there's like,
Right.
same thing with anybody else's, though, but when you get in that big power, man, that Assault 12K, if you hard clip it, I mean, you can go from 15 to 9.9 real fast, you know what I mean? So it's like, because you get some current draw real quick.
You want that power? No problem.
Yeah, we'll give it to you. Like, and then it's like holy load on your electrical system. So I mean, you got to be paying attention to that. Yeah, especially with rebase music and stuff. Because I don't care what the artist is. I love so many of these rebase artists. some of their shit will be smacking without clipping. You go to the next track and it is like hard clip
Trash.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
I know. I feel like amps pull way more current when they're clipping.
you do pull more current when you're clipping. Yeah, you
Way
pull
more.
you pull this. Your voltage is going to drop the hardest when you're clipping. I don't care if
Wow.
it's a soft clip where you're barely flashing a light, or if you're clipping, your voltage is dropping. Like just
I'm
pay
gonna have to
attention.
do a video on that, literally, because
No, for
I'm
sure,
about
it's
to
good.
have all that stuff to figure out efficiency with SPL at the same time. It's gonna be great.
Mhm.
But to do that, 'cause that's the thing, man. If I'm not clipping and I'm sounding good, I got it kind of where I like it. You know, who doesn't like to clip? I'm 13.4 all day. That means I'm just, you know, it's all alternator. It's under that 200 some 300 amps of current.
Mhm.
As soon as I start clipping, man, I'll just watch that go to 12.2, 11.5, and I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah.
I got two HP40s in the back and a 300 amp alternator. Why is my voltage dropping so much? And it's just just how it is, man.
You're drawing, man.
Yep.
Your amp's
Yep.
like, woo!
I'm out of alternator. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you
Yeah.
got.
Get an alternator too. Like, what are
Well,
you doing to me?
That's where there's a big misconception, I feel like, with people when it comes to, and I know we're getting totally off topic of the show season right now, but it's only 16 minutes in, we got an hour to burn.
Yeah.
Is the misconception with the 12 volt lithium, 14 volt lithium, and then your charge, okay? So there's a lot of 12 volt lithium batteries or 12 volt batteries, period, that can take, you know, up to a 15 volt charge or whatever, and then be okay. 14.8 is usually where you see like the top end of it, depending on the chemistry of it. And that battery can take a 14.8 charge, okay? When your car's running, it's going to be sitting at 14.8. If you probe that bad boy at the battery with your voltmeter or whatever, your voltage gauge, it's going to say 14.8. Well, the moment you're drawing more on that electrical system than, like you're saying, than your alternator's putting out, you're going to go immediately to your battery's reserve capacity, which that reserve capacity is 12 volts. You know, 12.2, whatever it be. So if you're immediately draining to 12.2, and then it's you're putting a load on it, that's where that reserve capacity is starting at that 12.2 or 12.4 or whatever it be. I can even see that as be 12.1 depending on, lead acid or not.
I thought it would start at like the resting, so there's a different voltage for the reserve and
The reserve capacity is going to be the rated voltage of the battery. Yeah.
Wow.
That's why
Yeah.
lithium hold their voltage so well, is because they have such like a dense cell chemistry, and like you can rest them pretty much wherever they sit is where they rest. Because if you rest it at the max voltage, you're not going to see much performance gains. If you're say if like your max voltage is 16 volts on the pack, if you're like 15.5, you're not going to see like a huge difference from 15.5 to 16, just because it has that energy density. I guess is my understanding of it. That's why you see these big C-max banks, and they're like playing full tilt, and they're only dropping 0.1, 0.2.
That makes sense, because if you look at the curves, you'll see like AGM or wet cell, it kind of drops off when the voltage goes down. But like lithium, it's a less of a curve, I guess, more of a slope, less
big
slope.
time.
Yeah. So I mean that makes
with like
sense.
a huge drop
either
off
way.
though.
Either way, yeah. Hey, I'm fine, man. You know, there's always a day, at least for me. It's like when you see that 10 volts, it's like ooh, but it sounds alright.
Oh, that's the same thing. Yeah, I mean, you can ask Casey, bro. So we were trying to blow the Powerhog subs before I broke the internet and posting them up for $100 a piece, and everybody was like, "Oh my!" Like trust me, we tried to blow these subs. Saying that's at a price, so you can't be mad if they die. But the
dude, I can still feel that glue in my lungs.
So
like, I got super sick after that. I thought I had like a flu or something after that.
Guys, Casey was we were clipping these subs so hard it was like smoke rolling out of the box. They wouldn't die. The Salt 12K was sucking my battery down instead of low, and we charged it back up like 3 times, beating on its hard clip until just smoke rolling out the box, dude. Nothing.
I have like 30, 35 minutes of footage of me just breathing in coil smoke. So like 35 minutes straight, bro. Just Chinese coil smoke.
Yeah. So Casey was so sick the next day. He sounded like like an old retired lady that smoked for the last 3 decades in a diner. Okay, so he literally Casey Googled can clipping cause cancer?
Cause something.
Yeah,
I did.
I had a similar experience like that too. My buddy James Taylor, he built his own subs, and what's the smart thing to do? Put some heavier resin on your coil, so it can handle more heat. And just like that example, the coil ain't gonna short out, but you're cooking stuff. And that's pretty much what he was doing, and he's just giving demos, and it's like literally like that meme I made on 420, like the car is just straight smoke and that will burn your eyes. Like, I'm sitting there trying to feel myself, sticking my head in the port, and it's just, he's just going. I'm like, dude, my eyes are burning. Like, I just feel like I sprayed myself in the face with something, and it took a while. Like, I'm like, man, no, that's bad. And the next thing you know, the sub did catch on fire, and it was still playing. It was great. I have a video of it. I will have to show you guys next week. Remind me.
There's tons of people that I think you would relate to that, and we can probably clip it or something like this. Somebody uses against me, but I mean, yeah, a lot of people, you just get that coil smell in their car or when you're playing and stuff like that. And I think the people that relate to it the most are Scar audio owners, because the amount of extra glue that gets put on those subs, they're just yeah. I mean, it's out of the box, just be woofing coil and glue.
That's how they take
Pretty
the
much.
rated RMS.
It's like you go to these big shows and you go home and you smell like coil,
Yeah.
Dude, when that
You're like,
EBL
what code is that?
Yeah, the EBL that I had died, I literally got to this chick's house, and it was like my shirt that I had smelled like burned voice coil, dude. Like, I sat down on her couch. Like when you get somewhere new and like how like you get like this on the smell of their house, and it's had nice, and it's kind of like cinnamon to me or something like that. And I sat down on the couch, and it was like woof, like coil, and I was like, that is me. That is what I reek of smell wise, is a burned freaking Star EBL voice coil.
It's worse than going to a campfire.
Yeah, so then I went, back in the day, and I was like, I'm going to buy a ZBX, okay? And then you know what happened? The same fucking thing, okay? Same stuff. Yeah.
I can't. I feel like it's like counterintuitive putting all that like extra resin to handle all that more heat, but then where's the point of it's not helping because you're adding more weight to the cone?
Yeah.
Lowering efficiency, and then it could take more power, but it needs more power. What is that healthy relationship?
I'm just talking mad stuff too. I really don't care what equipment people buy. I mean, it's part of the meme of it. There's obviously within a price range. The thing that I get frustrated at when it comes to comparing brands is, and I've said it before too, is I love when somebody has great experience with an audio equipment. I freaking love it. I love it when somebody buys a product and they've had the best of luck with it. They think it sounds great. They're happy with it. All that stuff. Fantastic, dude. There's nothing better than that. I love that you're enjoying your music on it. But you can't take and start give people advice or tell people that equipment is better than other equipment when you haven't had anything else to directly compare it to. And especially when you go from like, hey, I had this entry-level Alpine thing, now I bought this mid-level Scar thing. Oh, the Scar's kicking the crap out of it. Like, bro, you're not comparing apples to apples still, you know what I mean? Like, I understand. And again, I'm glad you're having good luck with your equipment and you had gains. But again, comparing apples to apples, you've got to take into compare quality equipment with each other.
Right.
And it's part of an audiophile.
I remember seeing that post. I remember seeing that guy. I was like, man, I get what you're, and I actually reached out to him on Messenger, and he was like, oh, well, that makes sense. And I was like, there's so many variables to everything, and just like you said, it's good thing that you had good luck with the equipment. I feel like any equipment will work if you use it within its terms of what it is good for. But what is good for you, for the amount you're paying, and what you want to get.
For sure, man. And the good thing on that, and the one thing I had a brain fart driving the other day, and you'll see people that are kind of like stuck up. I wouldn't say in a rude way, but they'll get in their ways of like, oh, this is my favorite equipment. I'm an audiophile. I've had these same subs in my car for 10 years or whatever. I'm like, how are you an audiophile, bro? Like, I have to change shit up all the time. Like, I want to experience different stuff and hear different stuff and hear how it sounds differently, Like, there's no way I could have one sub in my vehicle for a decade. There's no way.
I can't have a sub in my car for a week. But I think there's two levels of audiophile. People who love it for the music, which we all love music. We love playing the music. But how often are we in our cars and we play 10 seconds of a song and you're like, oh, that bass line's cool, but I'm going to go to the next one. Then you find one that has a good bass line. Then you add it to your playlist. And you skip it. You don't even listen to it and stuff like that. But, we're trying to find different ways to make music sound differently so we can experience the music in different ways. They're just experiencing the music in the way that they enjoy, but they're enjoying it for the music. So I feel like there's like two different types of audiophile. I don't know.
Sure. Right.
I mean, you see that more in home audio too. Those home audio guys, they'll be rocking the same set of cab. But that's what you're familiar with.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a reference set of monitors, like you see Hi-Fi or Andy. Like you have that home set of like, okay, I know what music sounds like in my Serwin Vegas downstairs. Like I know how they're off. I know what's off in the frequency range they're playing, stuff like that. So if I plug up another set of speakers, I can tell like, oh wow, these you can directly compare them to that. So I mean, it's the same thing with that.
Well, they probably think, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But
Sure.
maybe
Yeah.
that grass is greener on the other side. That's why, I've had my sub for 10 years. That's why I was laughing. Same sub for 10 years. But I've had
wow.
a bunch of other systems at the same time, and I've changed enclosures. And I kind of do miss the old box. It's like it was more musical. It sounded good on pretty much anything I'd play. Above 30 hertz, but now this one's just the opposite. So and it's like, but I'm fine with it. And it's like, who doesn't like hair tricks? But it's like, at the meantime, I already have 2 other systems and 2 other cars, and that's just counting cars, not counting what's inside the house, and just what I do. So it's like, yeah, I've had one sub for that long, but I've
Are you
I've
tuned for
explored.
lows now?
What's that?
Are you tuned for lows now?
For lows now? I was already playing 13 hertz, Casey. What are you talking about?
Oh, but I mean, like, what's your main focus of the new box? Just overall strength? Is it the same tuning or what?
Overall strength, different. How do I put this? Around the same net air, but I think a hair shorter. Okay. Just to, because I kind of built it a little bit too big the first time, and we threw in some 45s going front to back to take up some net airspace, and I gained about 0.8 dB on the low end and the high end. So when we took the box apart this time, when we threw that in there, we didn't take the box apart. So the 45s weren't perfectly straight. You try putting 45s in a box through just the speaker hole. It's impossible. So, what we did was we eliminated that, and the rear end of the car, the rear end of the box, that section right there is pretty much like a false wall now, 8 inches back. So technically, I gained by just doing that with the airspace, and now that the port is taking up less of the internal volume, it kind of equals everything out in a way. So we'll see. Honestly, I don't see myself gaining just from that. Maybe because of how aerodynamics and like the port, how far the port is in the box compared to before. That can change your SPL too. If you got your port all the way outside the box rather than all the way in, you can just be louder, but then you have a lower tuning. So then you got to shrink the box to make up for that. 5 million variables. I love doing this stuff.
Sure.
But honestly, I was trying to stay right around where I was at, and just make it stronger. And I feel like that with the upgraded electrical, I just got a Hi-Fi Vega 3 kit coming. It's on the way. He's making it right now, so that'll be great. Just have my electrical beefier with that additional run going front to back. I feel like it's just going to play a lot better, and if I gain, that's great. But I want to be able to do those hair tricks without killing the sub. I was just from the box falling apart. I know whenever I got that thing out the gate and I actually had it braced and everything, man, it was so easy to lift Kayla's hair. I'm like, oh, look at that. And I got more. Watch this. So I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Bro, that was me the other weekend at the show when I had the 4 chicks doing the hair trick at one time. I was like, I'm a man, like I can do this now. Bring it on, bring your girl on too. Come on with it,
That's the thing, man. Just moving that hair, it's better than seeing a number, really.
Oh, sure.
Honestly.
Well, you'll see a chick that's like into the getting a demo or whatever, but like, no, turn your back to the window, like right now. Like,
yeah.
And dude, I'm not gonna lie though, which I was being cool about it, but like, dude, nobody that I told them to or whatever, nobody didn't do it. So it's like, it seemed like they obviously, because a lot of people, a lot of people that are getting demos stuff like that. A, that could be the first time doing that. B, they've never had like anybody that showed them like, hey, here's how you do a hair trick, whatever. So you're like, hey, turn your back, lean a little bit in the window,
Right.
or lean into it, and they're like, holy crap. But a few of those chicks.
It's pretty fun, yeah.
Yeah, this one chick like put her hat on and was like holding her hair down and all that stuff. Like, I'm sorry, like.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I know
it's
when
really
I get in the
fun,
car
like. Huh?
Go ahead, Casey. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's really fun when like someone gets in and they're like not expecting, you give them a little bit, when the song's starting up, and then they're like, oh wow, and then the song comes in, you only had it like a quarter of the way up, and you just fucking sauce it, and then their hair's standing up, and they're like, holy fuck, that's like the best thing ever. That's not really in it; it's just for the reactions, you know what I mean? And just having a good time with the boys at the show,
Yeah, dude, I love the reaction
sure.
too. That I love that so much because I'm not saying I'm loud at that, but like I can have. Just the same thing with you, the bass barely cracked, where it's like a little overpowering for the Doors, but it sounds really good still in musical and all that stuff. And they're like, oh, yeah. And then you're like, ha, 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 bam, drop the knob on them. And they're like, whoa,
Yeah.
Especially if you already got the windows positioned the right way or the windows down right, so it's going to be instant just wind.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to. It's like, as soon as you get in a car, it's like, all right, what do you want, loud or lows? And every time they're like, oh, I want to hear the lows, because they see the videos.
All
and it's
day,
like, okay,
baby.
crank it up. Let's go.
I
I
like
ask
playing the
people
low
that too,
frequency.
and then I just stopped asking because literally everyone says lows. I've never heard someone say, "Oh, play some high notes." Never, not once.
That's the thing too, is like, which I'm still like running around a 50 at around 20 hertz. It was like 49 too, but like it's way louder at 40, 45, 50 hertz. You know what I mean? So it's like I like playing the low songs, still kind of loud, but I don't tank my voltage playing 20 to 29 hertz. You know what I mean? Like it can play that.
And the subs stay cool.
Yeah.
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 So I'm notoriously bad if I'll play demos till there's people waiting. If there's people waiting, I'll cycle them out pretty quick. But if you're not anybody waiting, I'll play you 2 or 3 songs, bro. And so I'll get you with some low notes, and then I'll surprise you with one that's got 40, 50 hertz mixed into it, and you're like, oh god, no, I didn't like that,
Right. I kind
Yeah,
of
let me
like
get out
giving
now.
more
Yeah.
more song choices than just one. Some people, I love the people that get in and they're done after like 40 seconds. They're like, I'm good. It's like, you don't want to hear anything else? No, I'm good. It's like, okay, yep, see you later.
Yeah.
Because they're just not used to car audio, and I see more people like that. At least with like the local shows and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Speaking of shows, we're like the halfway mark. Like,
I gotta get on that.
Yeah. What's going on with SP Live this year? 2022, you guys, I'm assuming it's almost back to normal without masks and stuff like that, so you're probably not getting taken and restricted too hard. You guys excited? You got some stuff lined up? What's up?
Absolutely. Unmasked for sure. It's going to be great. But yeah, I got a lot of shows coming up. 3 in this month coming up of, I guess, the end of April and May. I have one out in Altoona area, Rockin' with Russ. It's going to be Team SP Loud with Mecca and ISPLL. And it's just going to be pretty cool. We did that last year. Some of the guys, they camp and stuff, and it's more their show, and they just invited me to come out because they actually come out to my shows. That's how I met them. And so it just kind of started from there. It's like, well, I'm going to come out and support you guys. And honestly, my lane is great for the people that want to go into Mecca and the other lanes so that they can get an idea. Because I'll sit there with them, like, okay, you could try this. And I'm a Mecca judge. So it's like, I already know all the rules. I already know how to do this. And it's like, okay, well, you could do this or do that. So it's cool. That is next weekend, Saturday. And then 2 weeks from that, I'll just be at like a regular car show, Flood City Car Show. On a Sunday or Saturday, I forget which. I think it's the 15th, and so it's just it's mostly car guys, like with their two-stepping and their Honda Civics and stuff. But a lot of them do have bass, and it's a nice little outreach for me to meet new people and for people that have no idea about car audio to learn. And then 2 weeks from then is my first official show at the Greensburg Stereo Shop on the 29th, and that's the whole
Where is
kit
that
and caboodle. Greensburg, PA, 201 East Pittsburgh Street. It's like right down the road from the courthouse. Can't miss it.
I mean,
It's nice.
The beautiful thing on that.
Hear me out, bro. Hear me out. We travel all the time for shows, man. We can make that.
You're driving the truck the whole way there and the whole way back.
Mine should be done by then.
Out.
Right? Wait,
I
when
was
is
talking
this?
to Dave. May 29th, like 2 weeks before Slam. I know I'm gonna be booked every 2 weeks for the next.
Oh no, bro, that's a haul.
Gee, that's possible. PA's only like 12, 13 hours.
Only 12, 13
Wait,
hours,
hold on.
but dude, that'd be awesome.
What's the
if you
place
guys
called?
could
I'm gonna
come out.
demo. I'm gonna
demo it.
map
You
it.
better demo it.
I'm gonna demo it. Yeah,
it's
what's
just called the Stereo Shop, literally.
The beautiful
That's kinda
thing
cool,
on that,
actually.
though, you can fit it right in this car.
Winston-Salem?
In the
Greensburg, PA.
way off.
You just pull up in the Eclipse, bro, and you already got a fart cannon on it, dude. You just rev it. You seem like a ricer guy at the car show, bro.
Oh yeah, I kind of fit in. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. They're like, here's the Eclipse guy.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you tell me how rare this car is? No.
Yeah. You can get a hit or miss with it. People will either like it or it's like it's just an Eclipse. It's not the 2G, so it's either one or the other.
Whose dog is that, Casey?
Yeah. What is going on?
Yo,
Is that a
Casey.
dog or a
Hey.
chicken?
That's
It
a
sounds like
dog.
one of them rubber chickens.
The,
But yeah, my schedule is definitely.
It's only 10
packed.
hours
Team
away.
SP Loud. That's not bad at all.
We'll see.
Let me know.
Dude, it's
Dave
only
might be
10
coming
hours.
out too. Dave was asking me for the address too.
Dave Kolchak, that'd be cool.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
I'm only probably gonna have 2 shows just because I'm gonna be so busy. So probably just like last year, one in the beginning, one towards the end. Plus, who wants to go to a car audio show in the hottest time in July? It's around 4th of July. People are going on vacation still. And it's
Talking about
easier to just do. Well, there's Slamology, but that's 2 weeks from then. Hopefully it doesn't rain. I can't wait for that, man. It's going to be awesome.
We take the excursion and go to watch the fireworks. We climb on the roof of the excursion and sit on it, watch fireworks. But you can just see above everyone. But
yeah.
Was that pretty good?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you guys got any shows coming up? I know you be hosting some.
We've got. I'm gonna do a thing with you're still on the Kicker thing at the Skills USA event in like a month and a half. Where actually I'm gonna be with Kicker judging, man. So it's like a cool event where they've got these younger like teenager kids teams, and they're split up into teams, and they've got like a fake Nissan Dash with door panels on it, and they've got to wire a head unit in it and install it, and they've got to put speakers in and wire then solder the connections, and then they have to like series and parallel speakers, and they have to do it correctly and obviously be the right impedance and all that jazz. And if they solder on the top side, they get points marked off if they're not soldering on the bottom. There's all kinds of they have like a rule thing. And then I'll let the cat out of the bag. They're going to put Joe's truck inside. It's like Skills USA is a big thing. I did the construction things when I was in high school as a teenager for construction. And it's these huge buildings. They've got full of construction equipment and jobs and cool stuff and all. You can drive equipment, all kinds of crazy stuff as like a teenager with assistance, obviously. But I mean, like, it was insane. So they have an automotive one. And we're going to bring Joe's truck inside this huge expo building and to have it on display next to where they're doing the competition thing at. And they're like, we can probably turn it up one time. They're like, we're going to be, oh, I'm sorry, And then, like, they're like, when it's about over, like.
That's all. Where's that located again? Where they
in
have
Atlanta. It's going to be in Atlanta, yeah.
Oh, well, it's right
You
here
didn't tell me it was in Atlanta, dude.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's still a month and a half out, Casey. I can still email you
down.
the judge one, yeah. I told James, I was like, James, it'd be good for James to be a judge too. I need to find 5 people, so I mean, like, including myself.
If it was James, his team would finish last the way he installs.
Hey, that's fine.
I hope he's watching this.
There's got to be losers too, But but I'm so excited for that one. I'm excited to see the Kicker guys too, man. It's gonna be sick. Like I'm so excited to get to hang out with the dudes that are coming from Kicker. That'll be tight.
That's awesome. I know you hung out with John Myers one time previously, but I think that's about it.
Yeah,
he just showed up at our shop, dude.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So we're in the back corner of the shop, and the bay door is way across the room. It's it's already starting to be the sun coming down the slides a little bit, so the light's shining in the bay door, and then like a fucking mysterious John Myers walks through the door, dude.
He's like, have y'all seen Orlando?
Is there some background music going on while he walked in too, or no?
Dude, the lightning crashed in the fucking background, dude. I mean, like, I was like, whoa,
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
The walk-up music came on.
Dude, there was fog. Yeah, there was fog that took. Oh, dude, Rob. Okay, cool. I'll get you in on this, Rob. It is during the week though. It's not a weekend thing. It's like a Thursday and a Friday. But there's a fog, and then John Myers showed up. But I will give him credit. It is John as seen on TV Myers, because he was literally wearing Kicker stuff head to toe. I think he even had Kicker shorts on, bro. I'm telling you, dude. His hat, his shirt, his undershirt, all that.
If I had enough Kicker gear, I probably would. It would be in my natural wardrobe. And it's nice stuff too that they make. So why not? Plus, he's going to a stereo shop for a reason, so he's got to be looking the part too.
I never saw the episode they were doing. It was Kicker. John was doing an install on a vehicle, man, and there was the interior guy was. Yeah, we can see the comments live. But
it was for Royal Garage with Courtney Hansen. So Courtney Hansen in Royal Garage, they leased the spot next to our shop at Crush Customs. They leased next door, and then the Kicker guys were over there, and that's when he came over, and it was like, whoa, that guy looks familiar. And Scott's like, oh my God, it's John Myers.
Yeah. I was like, he's been on Kicker, dude. I just took I immediately name dropped. I was like, yeah, I do the show with Andy, the Kicker Club every week. I was like, yeah, and I'm in Kip, Steve Irby, and it's like, we were right in, bro. As soon as I said Kip and Steve Irby, obviously in YouTube, it was like, he's like, oh, you guys know my people. Dude, I know I had a John Myers card and I cherished it. I don't know where my John Myers card went.
Gotta find it.
Yeah, I've changed wallets like 3 times since then.
Where's Vega going? He said, don't have any planned meetups, but I hope to meet a lot of folks. I know he's not going to Slam. He's going on a cruise.
Yeah. I don't blame him. I mean, do a cruise, bro.
Right. It's probably going to rain on Slamology anyway, so you're not missing that. I mean,
why do you say that?
Slamology it's Rainology, man. Rainology.
No,
It didn't rain
dude.
on
Last
Wednesday.
year it was hellology.
But I didn't go last year, so I don't know. It's either raining or tornadoes. Like I remember, literally the first year I went, it was the worst experience. Like literally, my tent took off, scratched half of my car, and then it just downpoured. But that was the opportunity that I could pull up to the kicker cube and get a little picture because that was VIP section only. Everyone was leaving. The show was half done. Like people were like, "Well, we're out of here. It's gonna rain all day." I stuck around. You know, I'm dedicated. I'm like, I want a picture of this thing with my car before I go. Gate was open. I'm like, I'll just slide right up in there and boom. So it kind of worked with the rain. And then I remember, I think it was last year, the last time I went. So that was 2019. Yeah, 2019 because the whole pandemic thing. I think it rained a little bit, but it was really beautiful on the first day. It was really beautiful on the first day. But yeah, last year I guess it didn't rain, so that's good. Knock on wood. But you know, it's Slamology, man.
It was such an experience for me when I went last. It was last year, yeah, dude. It was crazy. The first day, like, we were in the regular parking, and I had a couple cold snacks, and I was already just drained the next day. The next day, they had us parked next to down for sound booths and all that stuff through Ramondo, and it was a cool experience. And
Nice.
I'd never given so many demos in my freaking life other than being in that vendor side, dude. It was insane, man. And but I was like still drained at the same time because I was like halfway hungover from the day before of dehydration, and I'm just like. Love a bass. I didn't listen to any bass the whole entire way home, dude.
You get kind of burnt out. I kind of was forced to on the way home because I kind of blew up my sub, the tinsel leads. And I remember Jeremy Brown. He's like, you got the KSC 6x9s in the door, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, just
drop the crossovers.
Yeah. He's like, you got little 8s up there. You'll be all right. I'm like, all right, man. Sounds good.
That's what I'm doing right now because I've got the lithium out right now, and dude, I just lowered the crossovers down on the Neo Pros, bro, and gave them the beans. I have to be mindful. I can't go full volume with the crossovers that low, But
yeah,
bro, I can get some punch out of those bad boys, dude. Like,
right.
Yeah, so it's like it's not so heckin' bad.
Right, it works. I know that's one thing I'm kind of looking forward to whenever my build's done. Tuning the KX 400.4 because it's a totally different 4-channel amplifier. I had the Alpine MRP F450. And I already kind of dynoed that on off camera, and it does way too much power for some just 6x9s and 3.5s. Way too much power, but it's.
I love those
good.
amps though.
Yeah.
I had the
Alpine amps then and the Alpine amps now, like
not the same.
I don't want to band bash, but dude, the ones they have now are just mint.
I want to get to the bottom of that because I know people say that about Kicker, like, oh, it's not made in Stillwater, it's not as good. They were good in the 90s, they stink now.
The newer amps are the
and
best.
I feel the
ever
same
had.
way about Alpine, at least the Type R's. Like
I've had a bunch of Alpine.
Yeah,
stuff.
they're not great. Even the Type
So-
X, like the 6 channels and the 4 channels are like.
So it actually did fall off. Is there a reason for that?
in my opinion, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like the same Alpine quality. You know what I'm saying?
You say
Like,
Alpine too many times, Troy's gonna walk in here.
Yeah.
I mean, I install a lot of this stuff, dude, and the Alpine is always like a go-to. So recently I'm like, I'm gonna try to get back into Alpine, and I did a couple setups and just like was not impressed at all.
Wow.
Especially for the price, like it's still expensive.
I wonder
for
if
the
they
R
had
and the
like
X stuff.
change of ownerships, something where
knows?
it's just like, someone else is making the shots and like, oh, well, we don't need all that coil on there. Just have them put it together, and put a sticker on it, and just keep the name going. And that's where I feel like people thought that Kicker did, but it's like, no, it's if anything, it's the opposite. It's just speakers back then, they quote sounded louder because there was nothing else that was louder then. Like that was like the threshold. Now it's like there's so many options out there and so much power readily available. You look at some kickers and it's like, oh well, those are only a couple hundred RMS and the price is crazy, and compared to other stuff. And like with anything, there's these pros and cons. But it's just like efficiency was needed then, and now not so much. So with the L7X, I'm sure it's going to be an efficient driver, but compared to an L7, no way, man. I just feel like it's going to be less efficient, but it's going to have more throw and more power handling, period.
For sure. It's going to be better. It's going to be a good upgrade for you, man. I'm happy to see it, too. I'm excited. I wouldn't even care if you didn't get any louder. You just gain some bandwidth, especially, if you tell you to. And my lithium bank is out because I sold the LTO bank, and I'm going to do a big excess power battery. And
Nice.
It's going to be sick.
You're supposed to be Prodigy, but here we are.
It's still up in there. I've got to, if it comes out to be cheaper to do the if it comes out to be cheaper to do the Prodigy, I'll probably do that. And Brian likes turtles, guys. And
Sweet.
yeah.
Oh, he liked my house then. I got a snapper and 2
I
red
wonder
air
if,
sliders. Squirrel.
I wonder if
turtle,
Brian's
and
taken his
Blastoise.
RC car out yet.
I don't know.
Brian, have you taken your RC car out yet?
That's Brian Chamberlain, not the other one.
That's Mr.
That's fine.
Sundown right
Yeah.
there. man.
Wait.
Fucking goob. When is
Oh,
the X
dude.
coming out?
I need new glasses, man.
When is the
Yeah.
X actually coming out?
He's probably talking about the Alpine. I don't know.
That's a good
dude.
question.
Yeah. Either that or the
Exactly.
Solo X, one of the two.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, this guy. So I was like, yeah, I'll sell my battery after Seaport. I was like, yeah, after Seaport. This guy literally, I mean, we didn't have the tent down yet. This guy brought me a knot of cash. He was like, let's get my battery, bro. I'm like, I guess we're pulling this thing out. The AGM's doing okay in the back, you know. The only thing that's scary about it is because I got like a loaner battery to take in so I could drive on it. Dude, it drops to like 7.9 volts when I'm cranking the truck or whatever. Like it.
That's normal. That's where they
Yeah.
that's where they
It's
test
okay.
crank amps
Yeah.
anyway. You know, cold crank.
It's like,
amp.
and then it cranks in. It's fine after I crank it one time in the morning, but that cold start in the morning, it's like, oh, please do it, buddy. You're like, man. But it's not
I
too
know
bad.
my old AGM, my first AGM that I purchased off of Fred Jackson, God, 2015, 16 or something like that. It's still sitting in my garage and I just haven't used it. And I top it off, but I have like one of those quick crank amp testers. It just tests like pretty much the internal resistance.
Oh, I'm not mad,
close
Craig. Yeah, I'm not mad at all, Craig. I thought it was humorous. I mean, it's like 17 feet runs and on an AGM battery. That's not meant for starting a truck in the back.
No,
Yeah.
that's a long run for
Yeah.
a crank. Yeah, you want that close to your engine.
Yeah, I'm not even remotely mad at it.
But anyway, the old AGM, I tested crank amps, and I actually used it on the JYHP40, and it said like 1150. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't really need crank amps for that, but that's nice to know. And I went to go test that one. There's like 250 crank amps left. I'm like, man, this thing probably wouldn't even start a freaking car right now. But the voltage is fine, 12.8. But that's the thing. That's the thing with buying batteries, man. You can't just trust the voltage. It can lie to you. It really can. What's up? What's
Yeah.
up, Todd? Got a lot of people in here. RGA, everybody. I see.
Yeah, there's
you
a lot of
guys.
people in tonight. We got a bunch of people
Wow.
in. But yeah, I'm excited, man. So we've got that. So they have the Skills USA event coming, and then there's probably some small Georgia shows that might come to mind. But we got Excess Power coming up. We'll have a booth there. I'm trying to get my guy Jimmy's FD RX7 out there. He's got excess battery, and I'm going to get him the right terminals on it. And we're going to do a big 3 upgrade. So when we open the hood, it's going to have excess, fuse block and stuff like that in it.
Nice.
And
No,
I think it's going to be sick. Yeah. So we'll have this
that
car out there.
FD
on
is
display.
beautiful, dude.
It's a beautiful FDR7.
Like, it's
yeah.
insane, yeah.
It's like that midnight.
Me and Scott would trade our whole base rigs for it, like,
I would trade.
any day.
He's got to give me money on top though, but yeah.
No.
No, yeah. But yeah. So sick when we're bringing it out there, and then have the base rigs out there, and so it'd be sick. It's at a racetrack this year, and then we got Slam right on the corner after that. So I mean, it's gonna be sick. Looking forward to it, man.
I feel
but-
like every car audio show needs to be at a racetrack because being a racetrack, it's usually pretty loud there. People that live around it, they understand it's loud. It's a racetrack. There's, nitrous, burning rubber, revving engines. What better place to have a car audio show where it's just
Sure.
nuisance, bass, just, so it kind of works. And like you said, with that one, I was thinking about Keystone Raceway and PA out this way. It's like literally 30 minutes away from me. But it would be a lot of money to do that, and it's like, is it kind of worth it? You almost have to have a Slamology, a really big show, and maybe some sponsors. I feel like sponsors would help because, advertisement and to pay for the insurance. The insurance is the problem. You're talking $1,000, $2,000 just for a day.
Mhm.
And it's like I don't even make that much. I mean,
Sure.
it's crazy.
I think the new JP amps are sick. They're S&I boards. They're nice amplifiers. I think they're pretty badass.
I want to get one. I was gonna buy the JP8 and the 84 and do a little review on it, but a lot of people have done it. But I just like the JP8. One, I can amp dyno it. It's not because they got a lot of bigger amps, and the plexiglass window on the back's pretty cool. The voltmeter with the bass knob, I think that's all neat stuff. It's just it's all together. It's more for us 1%ers. The things that we want on a bass knob, clip detection. I think that's just what they're doing. It's really aiming for us.
Well, not only that, they take and compete. Unlike any brand, it doesn't matter if you're taking in and using obviously there's build factors, all that stuff. That's part of standard things of doing it. But when you're standing a new standard level expectation for product, like now on a 4-channel, I want a freaking clip light on the front and rear channels, and you know what I mean, stuff like that. All that, I'm not even joking. Yeah, for ease of life stuff, I want high pass, low pass, and band pass crossovers. Okay, so when we start bringing this stuff to market, and you're making an approachable price point, the people that have the higher end stuff, they're going to have to start doing that too, man. Why don't we have more band pass crossovers? They just want to focus on selling you DSPs and stuff like that when it's really basic crossovers and stuff like that. It gets the majority of your stuff done, you know what I mean?
Right. I think the Q-Class amps had a few crossovers on the bass knob stuff. It was ahead of the curve, I guess you could say.
Nice. But yeah, so I think anything that sets a new level expectation for what we, set as standard features, I think it's good stuff, man, because again, it brings innovation to it. It's like they're doing, I got the, Kicker has their Bluetooth knob, but, Dapper Sound, they got that Bluetooth bass knob now. It charges with USB-C. Like AF, bro. You know what's going to happen? We're going to see that trickle into the market and other stuff seeing it too, man. So, I mean, like, I'm sure they have some kind of patent and royalty on something like that. But, in the time as it goes by, we're going to see that trickle in the market. If we know now SNI can do that and stuff like that, you'll see other boards coming out of there, doing the same thing. So it's sick, bringing stuff, innovation stuff, and new products out, man. I love it. The big thing too is it's funny. I was at a shop the other day, and I'm not trying to beat sidejack too hard. And I delivering a sundown order to one of our biggest dealers, and he's actually a huge kicker dealer. I'm just going to go and say it on that. Apparently one of the biggest in Georgia, or the biggest. I'm not sure, but any rate. So it was like, hey, can I get a pin? I didn't come prepared, and it's like, yeah, you're not going to like the brand, and he handed it to me as a kicker pin, and I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, yeah, I was like, little do you know, like Sundown and Kicker are like buddy friends with each other, and like I do a podcast with you every week, and I watch the Kicker thing on the week. Like these guys don't have to be at throw with each other. There's plenty. There's different markets, A and B. There's plenty enough to go around, man.
It's just that certain genre of people that just just don't like Kicker, and it's like, but why though? Do you even know why? Usually they don't. It's just a personal opinion, and that's how it is with a lot of things that are popular. Period.
Sure. But yeah, I thought it was funny. I was like, man, we don't have to be, not at those throats. It blew his mind when I knew about, like the Solo X coming out and stuff like that. Because he was like, what happened with the KX amps? You just continued. I'm like, well, he's like, you're talking about you love the new Solo X coming out. And I'm like, you gotta have big amps to power, big subs, dude. He's like, oh my god, I didn't think about that. I'm like, there you go, bro.
Winking at him real hard, yeah.
Exactly, dude. So like, and that just made, I'm trying to like play it up like that gets to be me looking cool. I'm not ever a brand badge and stuff. Like, dude, fuck yeah, I love Kicker, sling that stuff too. There's plenty enough customers. You know what I mean?
Right.
No.
There's enough love for everybody.
You know what's gonna happen?
Even Boss Audio. They have their place. They really do.
You can see it.
Scott's like, okay,
you take that back.
Yeah, I mean, depending on where you're at, you'll see, man. Because I go to so many. It was the same before with the Snap-on franchise, but now it's just strictly audio shops that I go see now as a clientele. And then too, let's say somebody does a dealer application, I go see the shop. It's part of our standard thing. Like you don't just get approved because you're in an area where there's no sundown dealer. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have stuff in the line in order. It's gotta be correct to the state. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go to your location. We're going to take a look at it. You know what I mean? So it's like I get there, and you can almost tell by like the level of the area and stuff like that what the product you're going to see in the audio shop. It really is that way. Not that it's a bad thing whatsoever, but you'll see, like higher end areas going to have the higher end SQ stuff, and then it goes hand in hand when you're in lower, income areas. Right. So again, it's just getting it in the right people's hands. That's where a lot of people have misconception as far as the distributor and wholesale side is like, hey, there's no dealer over here. I'm like, well, there's a process to this, and we got to get you approved on it, because you want to get that stuff in the right people's hands. You can ask Casey. I can go out there and sign up 3 or 4 shops tomorrow, but all it's going to do is tarnish the brand. Yeah. Like that's all it's going to do.
Yeah.
So,
I have a question. I know because you're a distributor to be a dealer for Sundown. You don't technically need a storefront, or do you need a storefront?
Yeah, technically, you need to have a storefront. There's some, some minor. That's like me putting my reputation on the line, stuff like we do for like Y-based stuff like that, where there's special emphasis. But like, for generally speaking, though, if you want to sell audio, and especially, you could have a website, you could have your stuff with I'm not saying you have to have a website, but it's on their application thing, like your social media pages.
Yeah, you need something where people can get to you. Yeah.
Sure. And then like, as a distributor, me finding new dealers, Dude, I'm going by the internet. So if you have no online presence, stuff like that, you're going to get overlooked, bro, because I'm going to see what's got the highest reviews, who has an active social media, who takes and, has, they engage with people on Facebook, stuff like that. So, and that's where I'm doing my basis off that, because you can tell a lot about an audio shop just by the Google reviews, bro. Does it have 2 reviews, or does it have 100 reviews or 500 reviews? So,
Did you see ours?
Yeah, they're all 5 stars. Yeah, it's all 5 stars.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
So like if you type in car audio Marietta, Georgia, you've got boom, first thing at top of the list. Crush Customs pops up, got 5-star reviews. You know what I mean? So it's like when I'm trying to establish a dealer network, I'm going X City, Georgia car audio, and who pops up the highest with the best reviews. And that's how you start the vetting process. And you don't always get to take in the cream of the crop. Sometimes they're not interested, or they're not be in a position to, or stuff like that. But you go on the list from there. But
I just asked that because I know I contacted Kicker years ago or whatever. I kind of brought it up, and they said the same thing. You need a storefront. It's like, hey, you gotta make that a little loophole just for me. It would be cool to be able to give people stuff, because it's like there is a Kicker dealer, Skeptic Innovations down in Jeanette, which is my buddy Steve Mullins, but I mean he has his own thing, and I'm I feel like I'm known as the Kicker guy around here. Come on, man, and it's just it would be cool, but that's even more on my plate, and I feel like I got enough already. So in due time, that would be something cool to venture on for sure.
Sure. That's
I just add stuff to my plate and figure out how to deal with it later.
That's all I've been
really
doing,
stressed
and I'm
out.
doing a terrible job at it right now.
The biggest thing for me is to be mindful on expanding my customer base, and so for instance, like a brain fart with me has been lately is catering to more customers of like let's say for instance I have somebody that's in my territory that cannot be eligible for a sundown dealer, whether for territory reasons or too close to another person like that. But like, hey, now I'm carrying other products, I can still go sell them batteries and wire and other shop essential stuff like that. So one of those things, I'm trying to be on my toes and
Nice.
keep rocking and rolling with that. But yeah, dude, the thing about, I think you do great with it eventually, Andy, of taking it and working for yourself. You just got to be in a position to where you're going to be able to grind, like you're going to grind. But when you're a dealer and stuff like that too, man, you get the whole, it doesn't matter what brand it is, especially something nice and reputable and like a price protected, like Kicker or Sundown or any of those other nice brands that are MAP price and, price protected. Right. People are going to look you up online, just like how that you got that Kicker dealer in there. You probably looked on Kicker dealer locator or something like that and saw, hey, oh, cool, this guy sells Kicker here. So you get the over-the-counter sales of people that are calling you just because you're a Kicker dealer, especially if you're a Q dealer. And
right.
I guess if there's even a thing anymore, I don't know. Yeah. But then who can tell? It'll probably be a solo dealer, or the X-family dealer after that. But and so they'll take and do that. But I just
thought it'd be cool to be able to do, have a few things, and just be like, oh yeah, I got this, I got that, especially just for I'm not talking like L7Xs. We don't need all that, go order that or whatever online. But like the entry level stuff and like the mid tier, because there is Walmart right down the street that you're going up against too. It's easier to just send somebody there. But if you can give them like maybe a decent little deal, it's worth the time spent. I feel.
Well, think about it. You could be selling product at SP Loud where you've got your freaking tent and booth and all that stuff. You got speakers out there, bro. And is it going to sell stuff every time? No. But I mean, like the budget stuff's what sells, bro. But the thing when you get ready to do that, hit me up, bro, because there's a. There's like a definitely legal step from like a business side that you need to do if you want to do that, because with filing with your state, sales and retailers and all that stuff, make sure that you have your RO program set up to charge sales tax, and, that you have an account set up for that, set it aside. So like when you get ready to do that, let me know, because there is some stuff that you'll have to be doing correctly to take and to be able to sell stuff, because and a lot of people think they get a business license, like, hey, I got this business license, I got a state and resellers thing, I can do whatever. Like, no, man, like it's more than that. Like, you need to be filing that you're doing audio shows and sales, and stuff like that,
Right.
So all that stuff.
Yeah, technically I should be claiming for these car audio shows too, anything over 600, and it's always just been a hobby, but with, just everything, it's a learning curve, and I appreciate that, Scott. I know you're the guy to ask for that, so.
Well, I only am because I have such a fantastic team. It's really our office manager, Nancy, man, dude. She's like,
nice.
Me with, dude, she schools me, bro. And like, and that's where I messed up at first, that she was taking and, like, hey, this is wrong, and I was like, oh man, like this is frustrating, and I'm doing this stuff wrong. Like, no, she was telling me like, this is wrong, and this is why how it needs to be done, and this is why it needs to be done, and then because this is why we have a process, and there's this, and then it just adds to the whole another professionalism. You know what I mean? Too, especially when you're making accounts stuff like that, man. You know how embarrassing it is for a lot of the places that when they don't have their stuff in line and they're confident, they're like, hey, I'm running a good business, stuff like that. Something's not right. And when I try to go make an account, and they ask for any bit of information, whatever, blah, 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 and you got it dead on the nuts, it's perfect every time. It just confidence, professionalism, man, it takes the next level. And it's a blessing to have a team of people. That's one thing with my previous ventures that I didn't have was the backing team and people that are going out of their way to make sure that you're taken care of either legally, financially, or whatever it be, which is sick.
That's awesome, man. It's the people in your life that can help you the most, make you or break you, and what you know and what the people that you're around know, to help you, and if they're willing, and that's awesome, man. You are truly blessed. Absolutely,
it is blessed, man. Yeah. Dude, we have a process down on it now, man. We got it worked out. Whether it be dealer applications or doing invoicing, stuff like that on the fly, I'm like, we got a freaking that's process set up, and it's crazy too because like as we grow and stuff like that and get bigger, how the process changes and we get better at other things and things that were considered bigger problems before are now just everyday operation, man. Like just keep rolling with it. But it's been cool, and I didn't mean to ramble on that too far, but I still get very excited about it.
No, you're good, man. It's your thing.
Yeah, she does not mess around though, for real.
Yo, Nancy, yeah.
So their accountant and our accountant had like a.
Not today, not today. No. I see. Declue also asked if they need to bring back the Solo X. You need to tune into the Unmasked show on Kicker.
Yeah, bro. Like, have you been under a rock for the last 3 years, bro? The Solo X is on the return, and it is nasty.
Any day now. Maybe.
We'll see. It's soon. It's TM.
Yes. Could be tomorrow. Could be the next
day.
Hey,
you saw where? What is the guy's name? He's one of the Kicker guys. He commented because they were talking smack on that Kicker meme that I made, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's fake. We're playing with one today." And I was like, "Oh yeah."
It was probably Ken.
I have to look it back up. I don't open Facebook right now, but
that's funny. I like that one. I was gonna make that, and I was like, I didn't want to trigger people because it's not ready yet. And for me, people are gonna be like, duh, 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 duh. And it's just like that's why I did it with the old one. It's just like. Plus, it's I don't know.
I took in, dude. I was just bored, and I want when I do this graphic design stuff. I thoroughly love and enjoy it, but I can't look at the same pictures, the same logos, and the same speakers all the time. I have to do something else. So like I just found those Kicker Solo X PNGs, and I'm like, meme time, bro. I'm doing something else right now. And you don't realize
that's the ADD kicking. It's like I want to do something else. Yeah.
Yeah. The funny thing is about some of those memes is some of you don't realize. I could have like an hour and a half in some of those, bro. Like just where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna tweak this around.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude. I have way too much time in some of these.
He puts one up, it gets like one like. He's like, oh man, I just wasted 4 hours of my life.
But some of them explode. Some of them freaking blow up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
absolutely, it's worth it.
But then
I really don't get paid for making memes, but I enjoy it, and I guess people start following my Facebook page, and it works. I get paid that way, but not really. It's fun making memes, man. I don't have the fancy software like you do yet, but I definitely want to down the road. I know I just did that one on 420 with your girl clipping your system, and it says it sounds funny. It had like over 100 shares. I'm like, damn. Okay, I did okay. I did all right.
When you get ready to do the art stuff, man, like let me know. I'll give you like a crash course. You could do it easy.
Absolutely. I do want to learn it. Yeah, send me some info, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I got you, bro.
Thank you, man.
It is Dean. It is the Dean, the unimpressed man himself in here. It was so funny the other night. We were talking smack about you, Dean. I got you. Like, Hi-Fi was in here and stuff, and we're like, I could just see Dean right now, unimpressed AF, watching Short Circuit right now. And I thought it was hilarious to find out you're watching on 2x speed. But I've never watched movies on fast speed. But I know a lot of people that like watch documentaries and stuff like that for the. Sorry, somebody's texted me out the way. Right,
I wonder why they would use that chip that would be in the chip shortage for the new amps, though. Because we haven't had any problem getting amps, really.
Yeah, I mean the amps taking that's not been a problem, and the thing is too, I don't see. I mean, you've seen what Vickers looks like. Cheap source units are plentiful. Cheap source units are freaking mountains of them. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
anything nice, bro, is
That's
toast.
because no one bought them, so they have like piles of
Yeah,
them. Like they have more
stockpile.
reserves and radios than we do in like fuel in the U.S.
Yeah,
They're making bank
Yeah.
now, though. You know.
I mean, I literally
Yeah.
saw pallets of cheap junk radios today, and I'm like, man, like, why can't these just be like even like an entry level Kenwood or JBC doubled in right now? Like, please give me
Yeah.
something from like a reputable brand. You know, give me a Kenwood doubled in, a base model cheap Kenwood doubled in. I'll buy a pallet of them.
Yeah.
But no,
All you're getting is Boss. That's all
Yeah.
you're getting.
yeah, Boss Plain Audio, Hyphonics, you know, all that
Mm.
stuff. Other brands I've never heard of. You
Yep.
know,
All my
Soundstorm.
distributors know. I'm like, if you get radios in, you can spare them. Just like charge me.
Mhm.
And then they'll call us, be like, hey, you can pick it up, and I'll bring it over, to the shop or whatever. But like, it's few and far between. Like every now and then, like I'll get a call, like, hey, I got these 2 Alpines here, and I'm like, what are they? And it's either something I could use, and they'll be like, oh, it's like the Halo 10 or something like that.
Where's
no
that
one buys.
$1,200? Yeah, a $1,200
Yeah, or so-
dealer
yeah.
cost. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, cool. Let me tell this customer it's going to be a $3,000 radio install in his car.
Yeah. That's like the Alpine restyles. We do those for 3,000 installed.
Yeah, but that's a
like almost
huge
2,000.
huge upgrade in those Jeeps if you don't have the touchscreen radio.
Yeah, dude, the restyle is sick. And it's
Yeah,
also they have it for like I think they have one for my truck. They have them for the Silverados. They have them for a bunch of different cars. Yeah.
And I don't want to cut this thing off short. I know we just got the ball rolling, but Andy's got a live stream here in like a little bit of time. He usually has a little break, so we're gonna wrap this thing up, dude. The what you guys get to end on this weekend? The take end. I just want everyone to have a.
I'm going crawling tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just finished up a build for my buddy.
You need to come back. I didn't
Nice.
think about it. When you come back from crawling, you need to come over to Joe's, bro. We're having a cookout at Joe's tomorrow.
Yeah, he messaged me. I guess we'll go by there. I can't
Hell
say no
yeah.
to barbecue.
You can just
I'm hungry.
bring the crawlers to Joe's house. He's got that huge backyard.
We'll take the SCX6 and we'll just tow people around with it.
Thank you, Dean. You have a good night too, buddy. But yeah, guys,
Y'all
we're
have a good
wrapping
night,
this thing up.
fellas.
This is Rolling Thunder episode 42. You know, Andy, I appreciate you, Casey. I'm across the room from me, buddy. But y'all have a good night. Have a good weekend.
It was
Peace.
fun. See everyone next time.
Like
See
it's
you in
all
5
those
minutes.
awkward